Well, hi and welcome to my shop, where we're going to continue working on this Philips radio, and the next step is going to be removing it from its cabinet and taking a good look at the chassis and cleaning up the volume control, which appears to be the source of some pretty major noise. So let's get this out of the cabinet. We're going to have to start with popping off the knobs. Now, hopefully these just pull off. Yeah. That one's really hanging on. Oh, glued. It's glued on. Luckily they used hot glue. Hot glue, you know, hot glue doesn't dry very solid. It just dries back to the soft plastic it was. Now I hope these guys aren't glued on. Okay, that guy came off. He was loose, I'm pretty sure. Wah! I'm gonna pull that one. I think those ones are screwed on, or have a locking screw on it or something. So let's take a look before we pull so hard we end up doing some damage here. Okay. This is a heavy radio. And I'm sure a lot of the weight is this really substantial cabinet. Okay. Well, I think we discovered last time there's only one screw holding this together. Yeah, there's a screw in there. There it is right there. It's just a flathead screw. Hey, you can look behind it. You can see another screw holding the cabinet together, only it's not holding it together. The screw is backed way out. That's interesting. Okay, so I can get a screwdriver in there. I need a long reach screwdriver with a pretty strong, small but long reach. The screw is not on tight. And voila. I don't think we want to put this knob back on, really. Well, it's been on there quite a while because the cabinet is scratched up where it's interfered. Now, let's look at this other one here. There's the other knob way at the back there. Okay, it's just pressured on, and I just wasn't bold enough to pull it off. But having seen it, there it comes. That's another modern plastic knob's got no business on this radio. So, you know what that tells me? That tells me this radio spent some time without its knobs, and that's an indication of abuse, really. Why would the knobs be missing, and why would they have to put these guys on? Unless the original knobs broke. It's not terribly likely. So, we might find some other things that have been done that I guess I could use the term jury-rig, or to compensate for. You know what else that might indicate too? That somebody took some time somewhere in the past to put those screws in, or to put those knobs on rather. So somebody else made an attempt to bring this thing up to good condition. Okay, well, I don't think there's anything stopping us from pulling it out now, except one screw underneath the cabinet here. One big honking screw. There it is there. It feels like a red. Robert's red. I left my Robert's red in my car. And I don't have it now because My son has taken the car. Well, let's try a green. Often a green will work in a red. Oh, it's just spinning free in there. What is that? Hey, where'd my mirror go? Okay, I have to crawl under here and look up at it. I'm not sure what I'm seeing there. Let's try a Phillips. Well, I'm seeing a screw that comes loose real easy. I'll just turn it by hand here. Who cares what screwdriver it is? I don't need one. So this is the second radio recently where the chassis is not attached to the cabinet very well. I had one or two radios ago. Chassis wasn't attached at all, except by virtue of the knob. So, ew, that's a. It looks like it was a Phillips at one time, and it's been turned into a big black Roberts or something. I don't know what this is. Anyway. Now, before we pull it out, let's check the speaker wire. We'll see how stiff these are. They're not very stiff. And there's a fairly long piece of speaker wire there, but I don't think we can get the radio out of the cabinet and leave it plugged in. And we can come out a certain distance. Same sort of thing with the Magic Eye. And then I'm going to pop that right off the clip here. So there's the Magic Eye. Put that there. Ooh, didn't want that to happen. Then we'll separate the speaker plug here, just so it doesn't cause us a problem while we're taking the cabinet out. There we go. What's this? What is that? I don't know what that is. That's kind of strange. Already the mysteries have begun. Okay, I think we're good to come out now. Let's take it out a couple inches and take a look and see what's not coming. Okay, I see something there that's not coming. Oh, I see. Something here, I don't know what that is. But it's like a cable, like a mechanical cable, like a brake line on a bicycle sort of thing, I think. Oh, I didn't like the sound of that. What did I miss? Phooey. No, I didn't get enough light up high enough to see. Shame on me. And I just broke the dial string, but you know, maybe it's just as well. Yuck. Okay, so let's not turn the capacitor or move the dial up there. It looks like I gotta loosen a screw and get the string out of there. screw is loose already. Okay. Wish I'd seen that. I wouldn't have broke the string then. Phooey. Phooey, phooey, phooey. There's the spot where it was screwed. I'm going to mark the spot. It may be important later. I have not been able to find any information out about this radio. I may not have access to the stringing diagram. So this broken string can turn into quite a headache. It already is turning into a headache. Okay, here's a light I gotta pull off. Okay. There's another light over here. Pull off. This wire can stay back with the speaker. It's pretty stiff. Okay, I think it can come right out now. So I better make some space for it. And that'll include moving back the camera. Okay, out it can come. What is this? What is this? Yeah, this is the part that pulls the band switch. Bit of a problem here. It is like a bicycle cable, you know, those things that slide inside a sheath. Boy, that's looks like I can take this whole piece off up here. Let's try that. You know, it could be a previous repairer had damaged it last time by the same way I broke the dial string. Somebody could have damaged this. So isn't that interesting little gizmo? Okay. Now I think we're free and clear. Oh, here's a whole bunch more broken string. Hey, maybe I wasn't the guy who broke it. Maybe it was already broken. Okay, see, even the removal of the radio is a process. And often a learning process, and sometimes a costly learning process. I was pretty cautious there, and I still broke the dial string. There it is. Now, the speaker has a large transformer on it. So we either have to maintain the connection to the speaker, or I'll have to take it out of the cabinet to do that. I think I'm gonna have to take it out. This cabinet is gigantic, and I can't be doing effective work with this big cabinet here. So let's take the speaker out. Screws are loose. What's this one? Okay, this is where I look for gold bars and hidden money. I'm afraid there isn't any. Someday I'm going to open up one of these guys and there's going to be $1 million in it. That might be a video I never show. Hey, maybe it's already happened. Maybe I already got my $1 million. Well, I think if I did, I'd have a better shot. Okay. Here's our speaker, and somehow it's got a nick in it. See, that came from down here, but there's no tear in the cover. That's kind of curious. I wonder if that's been there since day one. Okay, but that lets us get rid of the cabinet. As soon as I figure out a good place to put the speaker down. And we'll get the cabinet out of here. There we go. Okay, let's shift a few things around. Oh, it is heavy. That's a big transformer, man. That's heavy. That guy right there. He is heavy. And there's the string. A couple lights. Light over here. So there's 3 lights. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so I'm making a note that the string is wound only once around the dial here, and not much else I can note about it. The rest of it is completely off, so I might as well just remove it. Don't want to lose the spring. Let me just get the string out of here. And the reason it broke is it was weak anyway, so I mean it didn't take much of a pull to break it. Now, what other instant observations can we make? Is this thing going to get damaged flopping around here? Looks like it's damaged right there already. It's connected here to the band switch. And then all that's happening is against the spring inside here, it's pulling this. It's more like this. Okay. I think I'm just going to have to leave this kind of hooked onto the radio somehow where I won't get any more damage or anything. I'll put her down here. Okay, now how stiff are the speaker wires? They're not bad. They're pretty stiff. But they're good enough I can bend them a little bit. So I want to get the speaker back here. Okay. Now the lights are done in a fashion where if they flop around, there's no exposed conductor here. Although this wire is very stiff, I don't want to be bending that. So I don't have to worry about this flop around. In fact, you see there's only one wire going to it. It's getting its second connection from the ground. The lights look fairly new, so again, whoever put the knobs on must have done the lights. It must have, well, probably. Hey, 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 look at this. Hey. Look at that. Somebody drew the string arrangement on the front of the radio. Very good. Hey, look, it's going twice around the, I don't know what they call it, the bobbin, I guess. Capstan, maybe is the word for it. Well, thank you, whoever you were. Hopefully you got it right. But, yeah, it's something for me to keep in mind. Maybe I should be doing stuff like that. On radios where I spend time figuring out the stringing. Although I do have some very good information on stringing, which I got from Bobby. So there's screws that should lock the bottom panel in. It looks like they were never put back in. So it looks like the bottom plate can pop right off. Screws in the back. 3 screws in the back, but none anywhere else. So it's easy to get the bottom plate off. Now the real noisy volume control was over here. Ooh. So listen to this. A little grindy here. Yeah, that's not telling me. That's not a good thing. That one feels good. And the others are band switches, or switches of various sorts. So that volume control may have to go in the end. That may be the best thing. Well, there's no evidence of anything being abnormal, really, other than the few things I pointed out. Now, I need to mark that capacitor in its current position. Now, the capacitor is connected by a straight shaft to this. So if I mark this position, I will be marking the capacitor's position. This is because the dial pointer is still sitting where it should be. Assuming it was where it should be. So all I gotta do is just put a little pen mark here. Which is easier said than done if you don't have a pen to do it with. This is a real pen. So there we go. So with that at the bottom, the current position of the pointer, which I'm just going to go and take the number down. Hang on. Okay, it's at the 1,100 mark, or 11, is that right? That's not right. Interesting. It's sitting on 1010, and 1010 is a popular AM radio station in Toronto. So, I think that's, you know what, 1010 is in the middle of the band and that capacitor is nowhere near the middle. So, you know, I'm not going to worry about it. Hopefully we'll eventually get some alignment information, or even without it we'll be able to position the dial pointer correctly using some other techniques. Well, let's get the bottom plate off and take a look at this volume control. I see in these IF cans here, there's adjustments on the side. Why is that screw there? Because I would think it should look like this. That's interesting. And of course, there's some adjustments on the top, of course. Lots of adjustments down in here. The oscillator and the RF and antenna type thing. A couple of adjustments up in here too. And it looks like some right back in here. So now it's a multi-band radio, so it's got a fair number of adjustments. I think the best way for me to flip this up is up and over with these side knobs, which is a big problem hanging down here. That'll put this major weight at the bottom, and it looks like mechanically it should stand pretty good. So let's try that. Up we go. Yikes. Put it here. Not very steady, is it? It's always the problem when you got knobs sticking out the side. Boy, that's scary looking because the carpet's floating here. It's really this thing's acting more like an anchor than anything holding it. I didn't think my carpet hung over that much. If I put a little something under this corner, that'll steady it up pretty good. Here's a little something. It's a little wiggly, but I don't think it's going to fall now. So let's take out these screws. And we'll discover what's in here. I'll change your camera position. Okay, over you go. And let's take the bottom off this radio and see what we got. My guess is it's going to look real nice. Something holding it? And it's just caught on the screw holes. Generally not good to wrap on a radio. Go. Okay, I see a couple of new parts here already. That guy, yeah, they are new. I think these capacitors are original. The filter capacitors are here, and the other one is one here, and there's one here. Oh, look. So this capacitor has been cut free. and that's probably what this guy is doing here. 22 microfarad at 450 volts. This one down here, it's the same thing, 22 at 450. Grounded. Now, just looking around for any evidence of things being soldered, cut, and spliced back together. Connections that don't look correct. These two capacitors don't look original. You can tell from the solder job and the way they're connected. Here's another one here. Why exactly those got replaced, of course, I don't know. Here's another one up here, a yellow one. So this guy's been worked on a fair bit, and that could be why it was reported to me that it works. And as you know, when I turned it on, it just made so much noise. I didn't want to continue with it until I solved the noise. So let's take a look at that. So this is the on-off volume control. And I'm looking for a way to spray some cleaner into it. Check to see how stiff the wires are going to it. In case I have to remove it to mess around with it. Is that Scotch tape on there? Yeah, same thing here. So this is a shielded wire coming to it. This one's also shielded. They didn't ground this end of the shield. So pretty stiff wires, this one and this one. They're all pretty stiff. So removing that, I would be ill-advised to try to leave the wires on it and remove it. It's a fairly long, well, it's not too long, but it has a shaft about that long. I'd have to move this up this far. By then I'll probably be damaging these wires, so much better to disconnect them if removal of this is required. And this is pretty strange. This doesn't look right. I would have expected this control to be sitting down here, not up in the air like that. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's a bracket there. Well, unless somebody did all this, drilled holes, mount a bracket. Soldering all looks new. I think it's original, but it's suspicious. Here's the power line interference capacitor right here. Doesn't look like the switch has been on fire, haha. That's something I'll have to do at some point, is set this one on fire too, like the last radio. So, generally speaking, pretty good shape. Nothing too weird. Well, this is a little strange. Look at this mechanism here. It comes, this rod comes through this lubricated slide. Has this very unusual spring. Look how they've done it. They've taken one of these, I don't know what you call these, a connector you would normally screw down on the chassis, and then you have a wire connection point. They've soldered that. Maybe weld is more correctly. Soldered it here and put a spring on it. And then here's a switch down here. Now let's turn that and take a look at it. Oop. Okay, see how it engages up here. It's the last position of the switch. So, you know, I wonder if this is the phono switch. That in this position, you see the switch isn't moving, but I'm moving this up here. This is in one position, and right at the last spot, up it comes. Of course, the spring is here to retract it back down. So I'll bet you that's the phono switch down there. And does that make complete sense? Then this is well, we'll look on the cabinet. Two position switch. Now, if I remember right, the cabinet has nothing written on it. You know, it's all involved with these inputs and outputs here. Not completely sure what that is. Okay, back to the problem at hand, the noisy volume control here. Interesting. The grindiness has disappeared. How am I ever going to get some cleaner in there? Sometimes you can get it up past the tabs. And a lot of them are open, like this one here. You know, it's open. You can just spray your fluid in there. And some of them have these little notches. You can spray fluid in there. This guy looks pretty sealed up. You can't see around the back of it, of course. We should probably try the radio again, and I'll have the speaker in such a position that it won't blast me out of my shop, because it'll just be laying flat over there. Maybe you should try it again. Again, I was told the radio was working. So maybe if I had gotten bold enough to turn the volume up, I might have got it off a really weak spot in the volume control, and maybe to a cleaner spot. But when the radio started making all that noise, I just wanted it to stop. Yeah, I think we need to operate this guy again and investigate the switch that way. The volume control, rather. That might lead to some excitement, so let's do that. Always good to have some excitement. So I'll get the speaker. The speaker with this unusual loop here, which I'm guessing is some kind of hum fighting thing. I don't really know what that is, frankly. But I'm guessing this goes, I don't know, somewhere where it picks up an out of phase hum. That doesn't mean, how much power can you get off of a little piece of wire like this? So unless this is a resistor of some sort, that's kind of weird too. I don't know, I'll just have to go in the category of I don't know what that is at the moment. Now, I'm going to try to do this, straining the wires just as little as possible here. So, I think this is going on like this. kind of exactly what I don't want to do, is sit here and bend and twist this thing. Okay. Goes on like that. Okay, I think that's on. Okie dokie. Keep the power cord in the back there, I think. It has a polarized plug on it. I doubt it's original. Okay, let's get ready to start it up here. Quick check for safety, looks good. And of course we'll start this on current limiting. I still don't have my isolation transformer set up yet. That'll come in a little while. Okay, the volume control is accessible. And it's turned down, I believe. Let's just make sure of that. Sometimes when I rotate things around, I get a little confused about which end's up. But this one will click at the click off the off switch here. I did have it backwards, so that's off. So I want to turn it on. Work it a bit. I'm going to leave it up just a touch, so it's not right on the bottom where that crazy noise was the last time. And I think we're good to go here. So we'll put it on maximum current limiting. Let you watch the light bulb here while we fire it up. Okay, so we're in current limiting mode. Radio is on. Speaker is in. All the loose stuff, lights and whatnot are okay. Okay, we're good to go. Now watch the back light bulb. Okay, so again on camera it looks brighter than it does with my eyeball. It's behaving quite normally. There's the percentage voltage, should go up. And the tubes warm up and you get plate current, it should come down again. So far not a sound out of it. There, it's going down now. Okay, so it's drawing a pretty good chunk of current. Let's put the other bulb in. Okay, now we're up around the 90%. See it? It's going on the actual line voltmeter. Look at it, it's just off the bottom pin, just below 100, so about 100 volts. 100 volts here. I don't hear a thing. Here we go again. I don't want to touch that control. Let me stick my ear near that speaker. Oh, no, I hear it. Nice hiss. Okay, we we do have to find out if this volume control is a problem, so I'm gonna have to turn it. But first, let's see if the chassis is live. Doesn't light my neon bulb. That's a good sign. Check it on the voltmeter here. What happened to my voltmeter? Wow. Must be getting too aggressive with my measurements. And we're reading 0. Okay, so chassis is safe. Thing is safe to work on. Hang on to your ears. Very dirty control. Yeah, it's got to be cleaned or something. Something's got to be done to that. Very, very quiet radio. Oh, I think I have it switched in what I think is the phono mode. So let's switch it to radio mode. There we are. We don't know what band we're on or anything. Let's touch the antenna connection. Okay. Well, it's a working radio. So I think what it's really going to require probably is just a fix of the volume control and a general tune-up. I'm going to hear a bit of a hum, but that could be a received hum. So I think we're finished checking this guy out, and now it's time to get busy and do some stuff to him. And I'm afraid we got to start with that volume control. It's got to come out, and I got to clean it somehow. So we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching a bit of a long video here, but I think we're good to continue now. So thanks for watching.